After their encounter with the troll, Kenji and his two friends continued on their journey. Their destination, a distant town where there were rumors of steady work and enough money to buy all the cheese in the world. But the road to the town was long, and soon the journey became harder than they had anticipated. One day they climbed a steep hill. The path was rough and rocky. The air grew thin, making it hard to breathe, and Kenji's legs burned with an awful pain. At one point, he collapsed on the path. "I can't go on," he gasped, his voice hoarse. "I'm not strong enough." Haru, his older brother, crouched beside him. "Kenji," he said, his voice gentle yet firm, "are you giving up on your dream? Are you giving up on the cheese?" Kenji shook his head, tears stinging his eyes. "No, I want the cheese. I want to be strong like you, but I'm not." Haru cupped Kenji's shoulder, his gaze unwavering. "Strength isn't about never falling, Kenji. Strength is about standing up again, no matter how many times you fall." But Aiko, Haru's wife, knelt beside them, her eyes filled with kindness. She offered Kenji some water. "Kenji, remember the first bowl of rice you earned? You thought you couldn't do it then either. You complained every step of the way, but you did it. You can do this too." Kenji took the water, his throat too dry to speak. He looked from Haru to Aiko, their faces etched with concern. Their words were like anchors in the storm, steadying him, reminding him of who he was, of what he had already overcome. Slowly, Kenji closed his eyes. He took a deep breath. Trying to steady himself, he thought of the cozy cottage, the warm smiles of the townspeople, and most importantly, the cheese. Not just any cheese, the biggest, smelliest cheese in the world. It was more than just a food for him. It was a symbol of challenge, of victory. He wanted to share that victory with his family, with everyone who believed in him. When Kenji opened his eyes, determination shone through the fatigue. He stood up, his body aching, but his spirit stronger. He took a step, then another. The path ahead seemed less daunting. The sun, which had been hidden behind dark clouds, peeked out, casting its golden light on the road. It was as if nature itself was encouraging him to keep going. Kenji stumbled, but each time he fell, Haru and Aiko were there, helping him up, their belief in him bolstering his own. Hours later, they reached the top of the hill. The reward for their hard work unfolded before them like a painter's masterpiece. Below them lay a vibrant town. The houses were painted in cheerful colors, their roofs adorned with flowers. In the town square, a market bustled with activity. Merchants called out, shoppers bargained, children laughed, and the aroma of spices, fruits, and freshly baked bread mingled in the air. In the distance, lanterns swayed, casting a golden glow on the cobblestone streets, turning the town into a sparkling jewel box as the sun dipped below the horizon. But what truly caught Kenji's attention was the cheese shop. It wasn't just any cheese shop. It was the biggest, most famous cheese shop in the region. Its windows displayed wheels of cheese, some as big as cartwheels, others shaped like fantastical creatures. The sight sent a thrill through him. This was it. This was where his journey began. Carefully, Kenji descended the hill. With each step, his anticipation grew. When he was close enough, he could hear the melodious sound of a harp. A young girl with flowing hair stood in the center of the town square, playing a beautiful tune. Her music filled the air, weaving magic into the evening. As she played, people stopped by, drawn to the enchanting melody. They swayed to the rhythm, their faces lit up with joy. Even Kenji, usually shy around strangers, found himself tapping his foot and humming along. Then suddenly, the music changed. The carefree tune turned into a lively jig. The girl, noticing Kenji and his companions, winked and hopped off the stone platform. She skipped toward them, her laughter echoing in the square. "Welcome, welcome," she exclaimed, her eyes sparkling. "I'm glad you came. My father has been expecting you." She turned and gestured to a group of men gathered near the entrance of the cheese shop. "He's waiting for you inside." Kenji's heart raced. Was this really the end of his journey? Was he finally going to meet the cheese master? He glanced at Haru and Aiko. They were smiling, their eyes shining with excitement. Taking a deep breath, Kenji squared his shoulders. It was time to face his fears and embrace the adventure that lay ahead. Inside the cheese shop, it smelled like paradise. Hundreds of cheeses of all shapes, sizes, and smells greeted them. Some were aged to perfection, their rinds smooth and creamy. Others were so stinky they could curdle milk. Huge wheels towered over Kenji, while tiny ones nestled in baskets like precious gems. It was a feast for the eyes and the nose. Then Kenji saw him, the cheese master. He sat behind a massive wooden counter, his white beard reaching his waist. His eyes twinkled with wisdom, and his smile was as warm as fresh bread. "So you've made it," the cheese master boomed, his voice echoing in the vast shop. "I've been expecting you." Kenji felt a surge of emotions. Relief, joy, and a touch of awe. He stepped forward. "Master, I've come for the ultimate test," he said, his voice trembling with anticipation. The cheese master leaned back, his gaze sharp and keen. "Do you know what you're getting yourself into, young one? This is no ordinary challenge. It will test your courage, your wit, and your love for cheese." Kenji met his gaze unflinchingly. "I'm ready," he declared, his voice ringing with newfound confidence. The cheese master nodded, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. "Very well," he said. "Let the games begin." The first game was the labyrinth of smells. Kenji had to navigate through tunnels filled with the most pungent cheeses, each one more challenging than the last. Some smelled like dirty socks, others like a stinky gym bag. But Kenji pressed on, determined to reach the end. The air grew thick, making it hard to breathe, but he pushed through, his determination fueling his steps. Then, suddenly, the tunnels opened up into a vast chamber. In the center stood a pedestal with a single cheese on it. It was unlike any cheese Kenji had ever seen before. Its rind was a vibrant blue, and the smell, oh, the smell was heavenly, a mix of caramel, vanilla, and toasted nuts. He approached the cheese, his senses overwhelmed. This was the legendary Blue Moon cheese, the pinnacle of the cheese master's collection. As Kenji reached out to touch it, a gruff voice boomed. "Not so fast." Startled, Kenji turned around to see a burly man with a bushy mustache blocking his way. "Who are you?" Kenji asked, taken aback by the man's sudden appearance. "They call me Stinky Pete," the man replied with a grin, "and I'm here to put a stop to your cheesy dreams." Kenji realized that Stinky Pete was the cheese thief he and his companions had heard about. The thief who had stolen many rare cheeses from the cheese master's shop. But why? What was the reason behind all those thefts? As Pete lunged, Kenji instinctively dodged, surprised by his agility. He wasn't as strong or experienced as his brother, but years of avoiding bullies had made him quick and nimble. He darted around Pete, trying to find an opening. The chase continued through the twisting corridors of the cheese labyrinth. Pete, with his short, stubby legs, was surprisingly fast. Each turn seemed to lead them deeper into the maze. Then Kenji spotted something, a small opening hidden behind a massive wheel of cheese. He dashed towards it, hoping it would lead them outside. But when he squeezed through the opening, he found himself in a dark, dank room. Discouraged, he turned around, only to be met by a menacing figure. Startled, Kenji cried out. It was Stinky Pete, his face illuminated by a flickering torch. "You can't escape me," Pete snarled, advancing towards Kenji. "Give up, young one," he said, his voice dripping with smugness. "You'll never find the exit in this lifetime." Kenji knew he had to do something, anything, to escape. But what?